Well, hello, my lovelies, my lilies, my lords, my lads, my dudes, my uncles, sugar flowers, right? Sugar moons, mountains on the moon, hops on the moon. Yes, my garden, right? My garden. Right. All right. So, first thing I want to show, even though, I want to show you the promo. You guys probably have seen this, but I want to watch it with you to see what you think about it and decide whether or not you feel that might be right for you to see. Okay, that's me. That's the whole point of me showing this. Okay. All right, not showing it, in some other way. Okay, it's for us to decide if that's something you and I should watch when it comes. Then that's coming up on July 11th. All right, so let's look at it. Let's look at the promo. I have to talk a little bit in it. Right, YouTube? Oh, yeah. Okay. Dear YouTube, I can totally understand that you didn't watch any of my videos from start to finish up until where we are now. I already can tell that. Okay. But thank you. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. So we're going to watch the promo. If you haven't seen this yet, well, now you're going to see it. See how you feel about it. See what kind of notes and tones and all that you get off it. And then we'll decide. Hey, then we'll talk about it, right? We'll talk about it. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, there you go. We're setting it up. I have to stop. Okay, so there you got the premise. Okay, a little bit of the premise so far. Here we go. Well, hey, all right, that may be fair, right? That may be fair. That may not be fair. We don't know. Guys. Keep that in mind. They may be that. Well, we got to watch it, right? See, this is what sucks you in. Now we're thinking, wait a minute. We're seeing these cast of characters now in there again that we haven't really heard speak directly to this. Okay, so that's compelling, right? That's a shining piece of gold for you to grab. So keep that in mind. Okay, that's very compelling that you want to watch that, right? Because now you're seeing people that you have not seen before, and they're speaking now to the case directly. Okay, that's compelling. All right, here we go. 11th Prime. All right, there you go, guys. I saw it. Actually, there's a couple different versions of that, by the way. That's the official trailer, but there's other versions of that trailer that go into a little bit more. But anyway, yeah. So what do you think? You gonna watch that? I mean, yeah, compelling, right? You're seeing different faces. You're seeing different people. Same faces. All right, so yeah, it's very compelling. Yeah, it's going to be a hit job. I think that's what it is. It's going to be a hit piece on Brian. But then again, okay, let's just already give that, right? Would it be still fruitful to watch this to gain other information about maybe some insight into some of these people, as limited as it is? Maybe there's something in there that we can pick up on, okay, that we can use in our theory, not their theory. You know what I'm saying? I already got that feeling. They already got that theory. That's what they're going to present. They're going to present to you the lone wolf theory. That's what they're going to present to you. Okay, we already know that. However, we're working our own shit out here. We're working our own stuff. So maybe there's some nuggets of gold in this special coming up that we can mine for our own theory, right? Good. So maybe that in it of itself may be why we should watch this. Okay, I think I need to watch this, not because I think they're going to do something nice for Brian. No, of course not. No, it's going to be a hit piece. But I think watching this though, I could glean some things as briefly as it is, and other stuff. Okay. Anyway, there you go. I wanted to just talk about that promo real quick, the Amazon stuff coming up, because that's coming up. So, and I know you guys are paying attention to that, and you guys have your eyes on that. So, I personally feel that I'm probably going to watch it, because not because it's a hit piece. I'm watching it because I feel there's nuggets in there that I can maybe glean and understand my theory more, right? Understand my theory better. That's why I'm watching. All right, let's move on. All right, so I gotta go on here with things. All right, so nope, that's my problem, not your problem. Just want to give a garden a heads up. Okay, this is a heads up to the garden, all of you. Right? Listen to this. I am trying to set up a second garden patch, just in case. Okay, I'm already trying to set this up. So, yeah, and that part, that's my problem. That's not your problem. But I just wanted to let you know that this is always good practice. Always give yourself a way out, okay? No matter what you're doing, always give yourself a way out. Anyway, so I'm giving myself a way out and just letting the garden know that you may see me at some point. I don't know this yet. I hope I don't have to do this, but you may see me come on here in one of these and be like, look, garden, this is where I'm going. Okay, and I would really hope that you would follow me to this new patch, but if you don't, I totally understand. Okay, just giving the garden a heads up on that. Okay, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying about that, because the rest of it is my problem. It's not your problem. And the last thing this channel is for me to come on here and bitch about my problems, when we're talking about other things, and you have to hear me bitch about my shit. That's not what this channel is about. You listen to me gripe about my crap. Anyway, just want to give you that little tidbit of housekeeping. Anyway, so what are we talking about? So, yeah. A lot of good questions being brought up. A lot of good questions being brought out about how things were handled, how evidence was handled, what happened to the coat. Yeah, great questions. Yeah, where's the coat? What'd they do with it? How long was it? I mean, was it just left there then forever? I don't know. Don't know. Great questions. Great question, guys. I don't know. Yeah, but I don't know. It's those types of questions though that lead us to, hey, this was a cover up, because we don't have answers for any of this stuff, and then our eyeballs are eyeballing what's going on, and it's like, well, okay, where's the response to that? And there is none. I don't know. I have no idea. And that, and that's what creates us. That's what creates me. That's what creates a million other channels, trying to analyze stuff here. So, yeah. And by the way, this is probably more toward YouTube than to my garden, but listen to me, YouTube. Listen to me. Okay. Listen. The music and the movie clips that I'm using, there are themes within that music and those movie clips that I'm using to show certain things in my video. Okay. I'm not just using those music and video and movie clips just because I like them. I do like them. Don't get me wrong. I love them. But there's also things within those clips that relate to the video. Okay? So I don't feel I need to talk over them like that. Okay? And other YouTube creators who are being monetized, they're also using movie clips in their video. And they're not as thoughtful as mine. Okay? Think about that, YouTube. Anyway, I love you. Okay. I love you. For now. Don't screw me. All right. Anyway. So yeah. Lots of mud patches. Lots of mud patches. Lots of mud patches. Lots of mud patches. Ambush. Ambush. No. Kaylee and Maddie were picked up at the grub truck around 1:58. That's on the timestamp on the grub truck video. That comes from nowhere else. Okay, they get picked up close to 2 o'clock in the morning, and it's going to take about, without any pit stops or detours, it's going to take about 10 minutes to get them from the grub truck to their house. Okay, so at the very earliest, they should be arriving at their location around 2:08 a.m. That's at the very earliest. Okay? The grub truck stamp tells us they didn't get picked up until 1:58 or whatever, 1:58, 1:49, somewhere right there. Hey, nobody else says, whatever everybody else says, that's what happened. Okay, so if they don't make any pit stops, the earliest they get home, I'm pegging at 2:08 a.m. in the morning. Regardless, then now, the chaperone driver can say whatever he wants to say here. If we're in the mud. The chaperone driver can say this. He can say, well, I dropped the girls off at 2:28 a.m. He can say that. Who would know that but him? Right? Keep in mind, Dylan is the prime. So, again, she's the timekeeper on all these things that we're seeing here. Okay? Keep this in mind. It's simple. Keep it simple, right? We're in the mud, but we got to keep it simple. Dylan has always been the timekeeper. Always. Remember, the timekeeper. She keeps time on everything. No, it's not good, but that's one of her functions. One of Dylan's functions is that she's a timekeeper. So any of this stuff that's happening, so the driver can say, for instance, yeah, I dropped them off near their home around 2:28. Okay. Now, if you're a real good detective, if you're a real smart detective, you're going to be like, well, gee, how long would it take for them to get to the grub truck to their residence? And then, okay, well, 10 minutes. Okay, where did these extra 18 minutes come in? That's if you're a good detective. Okay. Can you make that stretch with Moscow? No, I can't. You know why? I just showed you. If I'm throwing coats in the bush? No. So anyway. Yeah. So, but if you're, again, if this was a real investigation, in my world, you would be asking, well, why is there 18 minutes here? Where did those 18 minutes go? What were you doing? Did you stop somewhere else? Did you do this? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So really, if the driver's in on it with the prime, he could say whatever he wants here. He could say, I dropped him off at, I don't know. He has to make it seem plausible, though. So I can't say, for instance, still, again, you don't want to underestimate or overestimate what you're saying. So you have to keep it within a reasonable time frame. Whether or not he knows the timestamp on the grub truck, he may not be aware of that. Keep that in mind. Okay. Whatever. But again, maybe he sees that on his phone, in the car, whatever. I'm pretty sure he's aware of the time. Okay. But you can't stretch, you can't underestimate or overestimate. Can't. So if he knows it's going to take him about 10 minutes to drop those girls off near the house, and that should be approximately, 2:08 to 2:09, well, I can't fabricate too much beyond this. Okay, I can't say, well, yeah, I dropped them off at, I think it was 2:54. No, that's way too far. Nor can you say, I dropped them off at 2:02. Well, what did you do? Did you fly there? You know what I mean? Like, so you have to keep it within reason. Right? Right. But, however, you can squeeze an extra few minutes in here, just enough that the police will look at that as maybe. See, that's another fear that I had with this case. The detectives didn't notice any time differential here. So, you can easily think here as a detective, if you're not good and if you're not sharp, you could easily think to yourself, well, a 7-minute time difference really is not that big of a deal. Okay, you really can easily slip into that. If you already think this guy had nothing to do with it, you're going to be like, well, that's 7 minutes. Here's what you say to yourself. Well, nobody's memory is perfect. That's what you say to yourself there. So they'll give you a pass on that little 7 to 8 minute window. If they don't think you had anything to do with it, they're going to give you a pass on that, guys. Yeah. However, that 7 to 8 minute window that you're giving is crucially important. Crucial. And you may totally overlook it. You think, 7 minutes, Hey, nobody can remember something completely perfect, right? That's how you rationalize that. As a cream puff little detective out in Moscow, which, again, my feeling is that's what they were. So, yeah. So 7 to 8 minute window. No big deal. Hey, the guy doesn't, give him a break. Right? Yeah, but that 7 to 8 minute window, that's a huge chunk of something that you just totally missed. And you know what? I'm going to leave it right here, guys. I'm going to leave it right here. And then I'll jump on again later, and we're going to have a more, I want to have a more cohesive thing, but I'll leave it here, if I can remember. Sometimes, all it takes is something that you wouldn't think would be relevant. For instance, I'm going to leave it here. 7 to 8 minutes. 7 to 8 minutes. Doesn't seem like a lot of time, does it? 7 to 8 minutes. May not be a lot of time. Okay. But this 7 to 8 minutes could in fact determine what happens to somebody damn lighting could determine what happens to somebody who is facing the death penalty. Yeah, it doesn't sound like a lot, but those 7 to 8 minutes could determine the fate of somebody who is facing the possibility of being executed. Okay, there you go. May not sound like much, but I'll tell you what, if I was him, if I was the person who was facing this, I'd want every single minute that I possibly could. All right. Bye-bye. I love you all, lilies and lads and lols and dudes and sugar moons. Hey, I'll come back on here a little later, and we're gonna keep it focused a little bit more. Yeah. All right. I love you all, babies. Bye-bye.
Catch the silver stream that washes out the wild earth seed on velvet green.